let's talk about the demand from Donald Trump and his attorneys for a change of venue to move this whole trial out of Manhattan, claiming that they can't get a fair jury because it is a Democratic city and a Democratic state. You've had a lot of experience with this in the past, including the worst cases we've ever prosecuted, the 9/11 conspirators in Virginia, right near the Pentagon, which was one of the attack sites.
Our federal courthouse in Alexandria is about 3 miles from the Pentagon, where many innocent people lost their lives that horrible day. And we found a fair jury in the Eastern District of Virginia that could adjudicate that case. You're not looking for people who never heard about 9/11. Just as in this case, you're not looking for people who never heard of Donald Trump or Stormy Daniels. You're looking for people who can be fair. Last count, there are a few people who live in Manhattan. Can a judge assemble a fair jury in Manhattan to hear this case? People who will listen to the evidence and follow the instructions of the court. Absolutely. So, and Andrew made this point earlier, defendants often bring motions either to dismiss a count, as he was discussing, or perhaps for a change of venue. They don't often succeed. The question is, can you find a fair jury in Manhattan? The answer is yes.
And if the judge denies the change of venue request that we anticipate, is that potentially an appeals argument also? And certainly there will be an appeals argument on the charges if it's stepped up to a felony, because that is a novel theory that needs to be tested.
Right. So there are motions. There are motions that are brought pre-trial, before trial, and then they are preserved if they're denied by the judge, so that if there is a conviction, the defendant can renew those to an appellate court. So will there automatically be an appeal, let's say, of a judge's denial to move venue? And the answer is, well, perhaps, but only if Mr. Trump is convicted. If he's not convicted, if he's acquitted, the case is over. There are no appeals. So there's a long road ahead of us, pretrial motions, trial perhaps, conviction perhaps, appeals perhaps. This is really like the first day when you check into the hotel.
And we don't even know that it's going to get to a trial because you have all of those pretrial motions.
That's right. There's a lot of things that can happen on this road.
Chris?